Does diet impact tinnitus? Sure it does. Sure it does. Is there specific ways that it does? Sure, of course. Of course. However, different things affect different people differently. We know this, right? Especially about tinnitus. Especially about tinnitus. There are typical things that tend to impact tinnitus, like salt and sugar and caffeine. And yet, even these typical things are not going to be the same for everybody. They're not going to be the same for everybody. All right. Because, tinnitus is not like a disease or something. It's not like a specific thing. It's a condition that emerges for various reasons, for different reasons, for different people. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm getting these goats out for the morning. One of my things with diet is I am less impacted by goat dairy than cow dairy. Um, now that is because I think because of the A2 protein that goat milk has. Now there is cows that have only the A2 protein instead of the A1 and A2 protein, but I don't raise cows. I raise goats. I enjoy them for a variety of reasons, actually. But I'm getting these goats out into this yard and to let them graze for a while, and have to kind of do it this way where I get them out of their little pen area and place them in different areas of the yard on a leash or on a line until we get the fence built in this backyard. But anyway, so yeah, goat milk is part of my diet. There's some research that shows that fats could make tinnitus worse. However, um, there are differences in that. I mean, I think that, you know, we don't know what else those people were eating, right? Were they on a keto diet, which is going to change the way that you process fats, right? Some people say keto dieting helps their tinnitus, and some people don't. But were they on a clean keto diet? Were they doing other protocols along with that, other detox protocols? Were they doing something to help their body produce glutathione like I do? There's all kinds of different factors. But yeah, sure, diet is a big factor and you can experiment around with it. Salicylates are a big thing. Now, you could get better at processing salicylates over time. So, like if you've had some kind of event that's triggered your tinnitus, then you might be having trouble processing salicylates. And if you can lower them in your diet, they're in a lot of medications, which makes it harder to lower them if you're on medication. But if you're in kind of a naturalistic, holistic way of treating yourself, then it is possible to lower the salicylates in your diet. Um, and so yeah, that can be done. And as it happens, a keto diet is probably pretty low in salicylates, depending on what vegetables that you include in it. Broccoli is pretty heavy in salicylates, but it's on the keto diet, so you kind of might have to modify it a little bit. if you want to lower your salicylates. Oxalates is another thing. You know, oxalates. If you're lowering oxalates and salicylates, I mean, you're going to have to eliminate a lot of foods. It's really difficult. But you know, when my tinnitus was really bad and that was helping, I certainly, I certainly wanted to do that. Let me get these goats out. All right. So so yeah, it's no one thing alone for me I find usually helps. And I think this is the thing. It's going to be a multifactorial process. I would I have multiple risk factors for tinnitus. Been exposed to a lot of loud music, and I've had chronic illnesses that are risk factors for tinnitus. So I would think that if you haven't had those, you have even, you know, more of a chance, you know, of helping it. And I see a lot of people say that they uh, can't get better from their tinnitus because it was from hearing loss. And I really think that's just not the case. They're discovering it has more to do with the audio cortex of your brain, auditory cortex of your brain, than with these little, the death of these little hairs in your ear. I really don't think that's the thing. Because if you think about it, like there are people who have had almost total hearing loss and they got tinnitus from it, and this tinnitus got better. Now the hearing loss doesn't get better. We, you know, that doesn't really happen. Hearing doesn't come back typically. Temporary, I mean, short term, there is like sudden hearing loss. There are ways if you get that soon enough, it could come back. But the tonight, you know, people, the brain can learn to stop listening to the buzzing in the head, and because of neuroplasticity, it can relearn. And then the buzzing, I think, can also become quieter because of the various factors. So, you know, another thing that diet can impact is inflammation in the gut. And then inflammation in the gut can affect the vagus nerve, which runs all through the body. It's this nerve that impacts your parasympathetic nervous system. It is a lot of your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of your nervous system that is associated with relaxing and restoring, healing, as opposed to the sympathetic, which is associated with fight or flight or freeze responses. And when the vagus nerve is, you know, experiencing inflammation and things, then it impacts the brain, you know, mental fog, tinnitus, things like that. And so there's a lot of factors that can impact the vagus nerve. So, you know, diet, exercise, meditation, and even potentially things that you take in, like, you know, movies and things that you take in that impact your consciousness. Um, so yeah, but of course, you know, diet can have a big impact. I think that focusing on diet alone uh, is not the greatest thing, because we need to have some flexibility in our diets. At the same time, we need to do what's best for us in all areas of our life, right? So, but yeah, focus on your overall health and find out the diet that's healthiest for you in all these areas. And then once you've done that, if your tinnitus isn't cleared up, then there's other things that you can still do or that you can do alongside that. And there's definitely there's people out there that have focused on diet and their overall health for a long time, and they still weren't better, and they got frustrated, but then they found something that helped. So keep going until you find what helps, and just keep adding layers onto your overall wellness and well-being. But yes, of course, diet can impact it, and there are certain dietary protocols that can really help you to live longer and help you to have better gut health. And so for me, it's this clean keto protocol, and then on top of that, food sensitivity testing. So you're not just guessing at this, right? Go to a naturopathic doctor, a functional medicine doctor. There's all kinds of different food sensitivities that you can get tested for. It's going to cost you a bit. It's not going to be covered by insurance. So finances also will become a factor. And of course, finances are a factor in having that overall healthy diet. And so, I hope this is helpful. I'm Tom Kirkham. I'm a mental health counselor here on Big Island, Hawaii. And I'd love to hear your comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. Aloha.